Video opens with a vast, shimmering shot of the East African savanna. Heat haze blurs the horizon. A lone figure, then another, and another, emerge from the hazy band of Australopithecus, afarensis, 4.7 million years ago. The sun is a relentless furnace over the grasslands of what will one day be called East Africa. From the shimmering heat, a family emerges. 15 souls, bound by blood and the brutal necessity of survival. Their world is a canvas of yellow earth and endless sky, painted with the constant hum of insects. Hunger is the engine that drives them, a gnawing ache in their bellies. The matriarch, her face a roadmap of scars, her jaw dusted with silver fur, suddenly halts. She sniffs the air, her ancient senses deciphering the wind's secrets. There, a herd of antelope, grazing peacefully near a cluster of acacia trees. A silent signal passes through the tribe. They drop low, their bodies disappearing into the tall grass. Every movement is deliberate, honed by a million years of instinct. Survive, feed, endure. A young male, his muscles taut, inches forward. He clutches a rough stone, his hand trembling not with fear, but with the primal rhythm of the hunt. He waits for the perfect moment. But the savanna is a stage for many dramas. Chaos erupts as a lioness explodes from her own hiding place, not toward them, but toward the antelope. Dust and terror choke the air. The hominins freeze, watching as the great cat brings down her prize. But where there is death, there is opportunity. The matriarch sees it, a low grunt, a command understood without words, and the tribe begins to move. They shadow the lioness as she drags her kill into the shade, her warning roars fading into the distance. Once she is gone, they descend. With sharp flakes of stone, they tear at the carcass. This is not a graceful meal. It is a desperate, messy reclamation of life. Bones are shattered with heavy hammerstones to get to the rich marrow inside. Fat sinew, every last scrap is devoured. Even the youngest child, barely weaned, gnaws on a piece of tendon. This is victory. This is survival. But the world is changing. A new wind blows from the south, carrying a hot, metallic scent that signals not rain, but a devastating dust storm. The matriarch tastes the coming drought on her tongue. It is time to move. They gather their few possessions, grass mat, some shaped stones, gourds for water, and begin a long march north, toward the promise of a distant river. The journey is a crucible. The savanna turns to an ashen wasteland. The plants wither. The game disappears. The wind is a constant torment, grinding grit into their eyes. At night, they huddle together for warmth, but the cold finds them anyway. A child's cough rattles in the dark. An elder, her strength finally gone, collapses. The matriarch stays with her, a hand on her chest, until the rhythm of life fades into stillness. At dawn, they leave her bones to the dust and walk on. On the fourth day, thirst is a tyrant. The young male, the same one who clutched the stone, stumbles. His eyes are glassy, his tongue swollen. He falls near a dried-up riverbed, his hand brushing against something hard buried in the silt. He digs, his fingers raw. It's a stone, but different, smooth, heavy. A flicker of an idea, an ancestral spark, ignites in his mind. He smashes it against another rock. The sharp crack echoes in the oppressive heat. He does it again, and a flake splits off, creating a razor-sharp edge. He holds it up, this new creation, and slices the air, a tool, an extension of his will. The matriarch takes it, tests its edge with her thumb, and gives a slow, deliberate nod. In that single gesture, knowledge is passed. Evolution takes a step forward. They press on, their hopes buoyed by the distant scent of water on the wind. As they finally approach the river valley, they see movement in the reeds. But it's not prey. It's a rival, another tribe, leaner and darker, driven here by the same desperate thirst. The two groups meet at the river's edge, the air thick with suspicion. The matriarch wades in, but the other leader, a broad-shouldered male with a necklace of bone, mirrors her advance. For a heartbeat, there is only silence. Then, a raw, shoutless charge. Stones fly, bodies collide in the churning water. The young male swings his new tool, a blur of motion and blood. The rival chief fights back with a club made from a femur. The river runs red. The fight is brutal and brief. When it's over, two bodies float away on the current, and the survivors from both tribes retreat to their own banks, trembling. The matriarch, wounded but resolute, drags her kin to shore. Her eyes meet those of the rival leader across the water. They are enemies, but they are also reflections, born of the same hunger. He turns and leads his people away. She leads hers, a priver, towards the safety of the dark trees. They find shelter in a high, dry cave as night falls. The young male, his mind still buzzing with his discovery, strikes two stones together. A spark. He tries again. Another. Then, by accident or destiny, a spark lands on a pile of dry grass. It smolders, then catches fire. At first they flinch away, but its warmth is an undeniable comfort. It pushes back the darkness and the cold. On the cave walls, the shadows dance the first art, the first story. The matriarch places a piece of bone in the flames and watches it glow, a rare softness in her eyes. They have survived another turn of the world, but the night is not over. Later, as the fire dies to embers, a low growl comes from the cave mouth. The lioness, drawn by the scent of blood and smoke, has found them. Panic ignites. The beast lunges, a storm of claws and teeth. Thinking fast, the young male grabs a burning branch and shoves it at the predator. The fire hisses against fur, and the lion roars in pain and fury, striking him down. The matriarch does not hesitate. With a primal scream, she charges, her stone blade held high. She drives the point deep into the lion's shoulder. The cave becomes a whirlwind of sparks, fur, and blood. Finally, the great cat collapses. Silence falls, broken only by the whimpering of the wind. The young male is alive, wounded but breathing. The tribe gathers around him, bruised, trembling, but whole. As dawn breaks, they sit together at the mouth of the cave, watching the light spill over the savanna. The river below glows like a vein of gold. They have faced a storm, the rival and the predator. They have fire, they have tools. They will eat, and then they will move on, following the promise of rain, carrying the embers of their fire and the seeds of memory. For this one moment, they are at peace. And in the quiet crackle of the flames, in the shared warmth of the cave, something new is being forged. The first faint whisper of humanity. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the deep past. See you next time.